What's up everyone, this is Tony with JRNY Crypto. Welcome back to another video. So we've had some huge things happen over the past few days, and I really believe this is the start of the actual bull market we get every cycle after the Bitcoin halving. I do want to talk about that and the recent things that did happen. We are expected to have the Ethereum ETFs approved and launched tomorrow as well between these different companies. Franklin Templeton, VanEck, Fidelity, Invesco, and 21 shares. Billions more coming into the crypto space is bullish for the entire space, and something different about the Ethereum ETF. If that does well, I believe it's going to be great for all the altcoins as well. So we could be looking at the start of the actual bull market here over the next couple months, especially leading into election season and these other things I do want to talk about. There's a couple other bullish things that have been hinted at that should be happening over the next couple weeks here. So hopefully we see this tomorrow, but regardless, this should be very soon, and this should bring billions more into the crypto space regularly, just bring more adoption as well, which is huge. We also had Biden stepping out of the race against Trump, and then Elon Musk changing his PFP to laser eyes. I don't think he's hinting to anything crypto related, but regardless, Trump is taking a positive stance supporting Bitcoin. He's going to be talking at the Bitcoin conference on the 27th in a few days here. So here's that Bitcoin conference page happening July 25th to 27th. So starting in just a few days here. And some really big speakers, of course, Donald Trump as the main headliner. RFK, that's huge as well. Cathie Wood and Michael Saylor, of course, they've been supporting Bitcoin the whole way through. Russell Brand, that's pretty interesting. And then Edward Snowden and a lot more. So this is huge, especially if Donald Trump says something really bullish, like wanting to make Bitcoin a reserve currency for the US. Anything he says where he wants to pick up adoption for Bitcoin and crypto in general, it's going to be very bullish. It's going to get clipped. It's going to be viral all over social media. It's really going to help pick up retail interest again. And that's really what we need to get the bull market kick-started and for things to start picking up. Leading into the election where Bitcoin is going to be talked about more. And then these other bullish things happening, like the Ethereum ETF that's happening, and some other things I do want to show as well. Cynthia Loomis did hint at something happening this week I do want to talk about. But you can see this post that Donald Trump made on his social platform. He said, Bitcoin mining may be our last line of defense against a CBDC. Biden's hatred of Bitcoin only helps China, Russia, and the radical communist left. We want all the remaining Bitcoin to be made in the USA. It will help us be energy dominant. So that's pretty interesting. Basically, wanting to really scale up Bitcoin mining in the US. That's going to be a massive effort, and that takes huge adoption of Bitcoin and crypto in general to even consider this. And if they're going to be doing that, very possible they push to make Bitcoin a reserve currency as well. And if that happens, that's one of the most bullish things, in my opinion, that could happen, because that's going to be the green light for hundreds, if not thousands, of companies to start acquiring Bitcoin for their balance sheet, as well as other countries. And that's when you're going to get insane FOMO all around. So it was only a couple weeks ago, things were looking really bearish in general, with Germany selling billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, and then Mt. Gox as well, adding tons of selling pressure into the market. With all the fear on top of that, it did look like we were going to enter a phase where things were going to go sideways or even in a downtrend for a couple of months. But so many bullish things happening over the last week after this. Not only that, but Germany selling all that Bitcoin so quickly and it not really affecting the price of Bitcoin like people thought. It just showed how much support Bitcoin has and how strong Bitcoin really is, even with billions of dollars being dumped on it. And on top of that, it did have the selling pressure from all the fear in the markets of everyone knowing this as well, that we're expecting a downtrend in the market. So if Germany had just waited a couple more weeks to sell that Bitcoin, they would have been able to get a few $100 million more for all the Bitcoin they sold. But they sold every last coin, and they started selling very quickly in large amounts. Once word started spreading of this and fear started spreading, the market started going down pretty quickly. And I think they got fear as well, and they just wanted to exit their entire position. But the tides changed very quickly, as you guys can see. Just waiting a couple weeks, a few $100 million difference is crazy. And imagine Bitcoin all this bullish stuff does play out, how many billions of dollars they missed out on if they had just held that Bitcoin. They didn't keep a single Bitcoin from what they were holding. They sold every last coin. Pretty crazy that they didn't keep at least some for a moon bag, but that's just the way it goes. So just a few more important things here I want to quickly run through before we talk about what Senator Loomis said today, hinting at something coming over the next week and what that could possibly be. So Donald Trump is considering BlackRock CEO Larry Fink as Treasury Secretary. Larry Fink just recently in an interview saying that Bitcoin is digital gold. He's bringing tons of adoption and money into crypto overall, so this would be huge, of course, but I do think it's a long shot. Regardless, it's pretty huge that they're even talking about this. So Donald Trump reveals JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon has flipped his opinion on Bitcoin as well. Donald Trump talking a lot about Bitcoin lately, and then having that conference coming up. A lot of bullish stuff here overall. Going to be very interesting to see what he has to say at the actual conference, and that being clipped and posted all over social media, of course, pretty bullish. Will Trump turn Bitcoin into reserve currency? So Donald Trump will allegedly share a Bitcoin strategic reserve policy sometime next week. That was stated a few days ago. So this happening around the time of that Bitcoin conference could be some pretty huge stuff being announced over the next week here. So SEC Chair Gary Gensler is expected to resign within the first 2 months of 2025, influenced by the potential return of Donald Trump as presidency. This is just speculation right now, but a lot of people think that would be bullish as well, since Gary Gensler hasn't been great for crypto overall. So if you didn't know, Donald Trump dropped 3 NFT collections during the bear market. They all sold out and they all did fairly well at the time. He's now launching his 4th NFT collection soon. I don't know exactly when this is going to drop, but if it drops in the next month to 2 months while the elections are picking up and everything, this is going to be pretty bullish for NFTs in general, which NFTs really need this. They've been hurting a lot more than crypto in general, just because NFTs are newer than crypto. They haven't been through multiple bull cycles. What you could do with NFTs was fairly limited in the last bull market in 2021, and so many people were so new to it. There wasn't enough developers that knew what they were doing either. It was very hard to work in the space and get anything done. But I've been working in the space, in the trenches every single day in NFTs, building products and stuff and utility. So Donald Trump not only bringing adoption to crypto, but also to NFTs. I never would have thought in the next 20 years we'd have a president that has NFT collections, but that's the reality we're in. Pretty crazy when you think about that. But I do believe NFTs will have a strong comeback and a bigger bull market than previously. Maybe not the same collections that are just art-based, but and PFPs. But the ones that are metaverse avatars, the ones that are give you token-gated utility to various platforms where you need the NFT to get things that you want to use. These are the type of projects I think that are going to be in high demand throughout the next bull markets and that will do well. If you guys want to learn more about our NFTs and our ecosystem, you can check out the links in the video description. So this image is pretty funny. This shows when Biden announced that he's dropping out, Bitcoin instantly started dropping, and then shortly after he announced he's endorsing Kamala, and it's instantly started recovering with 4 green bars here. I don't know if that was just the timing of people just buying the dip after seeing it, or if it was actually because of these announcements, but it's just funny how that lined up. So here's the big thing I did want to talk about. Senator Loomis, she's been pro-Bitcoin for years, really helping advocate bring adoption to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. She said big things are in store this week, stay tuned. And something I really want to point out here is the B in big. It's actually the symbol for Bitcoin. So this is Bitcoin related, and it's probably something huge. If she's going to say it's big and hint at something, it's definitely going to be something that's going to be bullish for the entire space. Really excited to see what this is. Recently, she has been talking about making Bitcoin a reserve currency and just adoption for Bitcoin in general, but really expecting something huge out of this. We also had CNBC talking about Bitcoin as a reserve currency if Donald Trump becomes president. So there's a lot of discussion around this. The more talk about this that we get, the better. Bitcoin's going to be all over the news with this election and just all this various things happening for adoption right now. you have to keep in mind too, like all the companies out there that were building stuff for Bitcoin and crypto and blockchain and whatever, they all had products that they're just holding on the sidelines, waiting for the market to pick back up because they don't want to launch these products when they're not going to be well received. And then it's even more difficult to get the products going and get that type of attention again when the markets do pick up. So there's going to be hundreds of different products launching once the bull market actually does start picking up and these companies see the demand is there. So really excited to see how things play out here. But this next week is pretty bullish. Senator Loomis saying this is pretty crazy. I've never seen her hint at anything. So that on top of this Bitcoin conference happening with all these big speakers, all in the next week with the Ethereum ETFs launching tomorrow, most likely. Pretty bullish week ahead of us, it seems like. So we'll see how things go and what comes of this. I'll keep you guys updated and make more videos on anything important that happens. I have some videos planned on other cryptos and stuff and portfolio updates and stuff like that. So we have a massive week ahead of us. I'm very excited to see what comes out of all this stuff happening and how it affects the markets. But I do very strongly believe that we are at the beginning of this bull market that we get after every Bitcoin halving and every cycle. And I do believe things are going to start picking up here pretty quickly, depending on the what actually happens over the next week. It could happen very quickly, depending on how big it is, how bullish it is. But even if it takes a couple months for it to really start picking up, regardless, I think the bull market is starting to pick up. If you're here right now, you're ahead of the herd. I do recommend sitting down and figuring out your entry and exit strategies, what your goals are for this bull market and what you want to be doing. I'm going to keep you guys updated as often as I can and give you my opinions on anything happening. If you guys want to stay up to date as things are happening, I do recommend following me on Twitter at JRNY Crypto and our crypto NFT news website, blocknews.com. I'll put links to both of these in the video description, but blocknews.com basically covers any breaking news and big stuff happening as soon as it happens. So if you really want to be on top of the space, definitely follow this page and you'll see this stuff as it's coming out. We can see something actually just broke while I was doing this video, breaking SEC approved spot Ethereum ETF trading for tomorrow. So we're on. That's huge. We'll see how that affects the markets overall, but really excited to see how things get going, especially with what Senator Loomis was hinting at and then this Bitcoin conference. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.